Hello everyone. Last time we have completed electrical properties of solids. So today we'll be starting with magnetic properties of solids. Okay. Now to begin with magnetic properties of solids, we have to understand that when we say solids, they are nothing but atoms. They are composed of atoms, molecules and as such. Now if they are composed of atoms and molecules, they will be having electrons, right? Now, since they are having electrons, these electrons are said to be having spin, and they spin about their own axis. These electrons spin about their own axis. Okay, now the spinning electrons are said to be tiny magnets. These are said to be nothing but what? Tiny magnets. Now, this spinning action will induce a magnetic field in that electrons. Okay, now when it induces a magnetic field, okay, if there are paired electrons, it will cancel its magnetic property. That means the spin will be balanced in that case, and if it is unbalanced spin, then only we will see some magnetic property in the solids. Now what do you mean by that? For example, if I just draw here this orbital, and if I say there are electrons in each, okay, subshell. Okay, now here what will happen? Everything is showing plus half. Okay, I can either say it is plus half, or I can just refer it as minus half. Okay, that means up spin I can say. Okay, now there is no opposite spin to cancel that magnetic behavior. As a result, this kind of substance, the one which is having unpaired electrons, will show magnetic behavior, and the one which will be paired, if all the electrons in the subshell is paired, then they will not show any magnetic property. Hopefully till here it is understood nicely. Okay, so once again, solids will be having some electrons. Electrons are said to be having spinning about their own axis. Now the spinning electrons are said to be tiny magnets. Now depending upon the number of unpaired electrons, or the number of electrons in depending upon the number of paired and unpaired electrons, they will show magnetic behavior. Now if it is unpaired electrons, okay, then it will show magnetic property, and if it is having paired electrons, then it will show no magnetic property. Okay, so unbalanced spin, that means plus half is not cancelled by minus half, that is unbalanced spin. Okay, then they will show magnetic behavior. Balanced spin means plus half is cancelled by the minus half thing, therefore they will show no magnetic property over here. Hopefully till here it is understood. Now based on the magnetic property, it is classified into three categories. Okay, so they are nothing but diamagnetic solids, paramagnetic solids and ferromagnetic solids. Okay, diamagnetism, paramagnetism and ferromagnetism. Okay, since we are classification is based on magnetic properties of solids, we refer it as solids over here. That's it. Okay, now we'll see the first one, diamagnetic solids. Simple, electrons are paired in this case. Since it is paired, we can just say they will have no magnetic behavior. Okay, simple. So with all electrons paired, they are said to be weakly repelled. Whenever electrons are paired, they will be repelled. If electrons are unpaired, they will be attracted. Just keep these two things in mind. Okay, so with all electrons paired, they will be weakly repelled by the magnetic field, and pairing of electrons balances a spin. Therefore magnetic moment will be cancelled. Some examples are nitrogen, fluorine, NaCl, water and benzene. Okay, now paramagnetic solids, second type. Now paramagnetic solids, there are unpaired electrons. Paramagnetic solids are having unpaired electrons. So As I told you, they will be weakly attracted by the magnetic field. Now, the spinning of unpaired electrons will show magnetic moment. Now, therefore, the substance is attracted by the magnetic field, I can say. Okay. Now, they will exhibit magnetism only in the presence of, this is very important, they will show magnetism only in the presence of external magnetic field. That means when the external magnetic field is removed, they will lose its magnetic behavior. Okay. So, hopefully this thing is understood. Now, ferromagnetic substance is similar to paramagnetic substance, but there is one difference over there. If the number of unpaired electrons is less, we call it as paramagnetic substance. If the number of unpaired electrons are more, okay, then it comes to be ferromagnetic substance. Paramagnetic solids are said to be temporary magnets. They are said to be temporary magnets, since as it loses magnetism when the external field is removed. Okay. Hopefully they are said to be what? Temporary magnets. Okay. Now, examples: O2, oxygen, Cu2 plus, Fe3 plus and Cr3 plus. Okay. Now, the last one, ferromagnetism. Now, ferromagnetic substances will have large number of unpaired electrons. Please understand, they will be having large number of unpaired electrons. If they are having large number of unpaired electrons, that means they are attracted strongly by magnetic field. See, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic substances are attracted. Here it is weakly attracted, here it is strongly attracted by magnetic field. They are said to be permanently magnetized. What do you mean by permanently magnetized? Even after the removal of magnetic field, they will retain the magnetic property. Even after removal of magnetic field, they will retain its magnetic property. Okay. So, some examples: iron, cobalt, nickel, gadolinium, Cr, O2. Okay. Chromium oxide. Okay. Now, so this was the last topic in this chapter, that is solid state. So, now we will do some sums based on solid state. For that, we have to understand, we have to learn some of the formulas. We have understood, we know some of the formulas. Only thing is, we'll just write down, summarize all the formulas first. Okay. So, to begin with, the first formula, very important. Okay. Now, what is the formula? Okay, first one, density of unit cell, very important. Sums are asked in the board exam based on this thing, density of unit cell. Now, since the word density, that means density, the formula is mass upon volume. Everyone knows that. Okay. So, density of unit cell is equal to mass of unit cell upon volume of unit cell. Please do write the formula when the density is asked, when such kind of sums are asked. Okay. Now, density is nothing but referred to as rho, and that is equal to n into m upon a cube into na. What is that? That is nothing but equal to n into m upon a cube into na. Okay. What is rho? Rho is nothing but referred to as density. It is nothing but density. Okay. Now, what is A equal to? A is equal to edge length. A is equal to edge length. What is N? A equal to Na, you know it. That is nothing but Avogadro's number. Okay. M is nothing but the molar mass. And small n, please understand, this is not number of moles, but in this chapter it is referred to as number of particles in one unit cell. That is nothing but what? Number of particles in one unit cell. Now, if it is confusing to you, you can just write down it as Z and just tell what is Z equal to, nothing but the number of particles in one unit cell. Okay. So, understand, N in this chapter will be referred to as the number of particles in one unit cell. For example, in case of SC, that will be 1. In case of number of particles in SC is equal to 1. Number of particles in BCC structure will be equal to 2, and number of particles in FCC structure is equal to 4. Okay, so this we have dealt how it is 1, 2 and 4, but now we are just summarizing all the formulas, so please keep in mind all these things. It will be helpful when we are dealing with the problems. Okay, fine. So in simple, first formula, rho equal to Z into M upon A cube into Na. And here A is equal to edge length. Then what is A cube equal to? A cube is nothing but the volume of unit cell. A cube is nothing but referred to as the volume of unit cell. Okay. Now second formula. Second formula is nothing but number of particles in x gram. Here we are talking about molar mass. Now we have to understand in x gram how many particles are there. Now number of particles are nothing but referred to as the Avogadro's number. Okay, Avogadro's, okay, so that means we'll just take this Avogadro number over here and density over here. So it is nothing but x, that is equal to n into x. Why x? Because we want in grams, not in gram per mole. Okay, so that's the reason we are referring it as x. So what is the formula? Number of particles in x gram, if it is asked, that is nothing but n into x upon A cube into density. Okay, fine, simple. From this formula only we can just write down. See, density will come here and Na will go there. Okay, so that is nothing but the number of particles. But we cannot refer it as Avogadro's number since we are not talking about the molar mass over here. Instead of this thing, we are writing it as x. That is nothing but the mass in grams. Okay, fine. So this is the second formula, very important. Now number of unit cell. Now if it is number of particles is known to us, it is very simple. We'll just divide by n. What is n over here? Please understand number of particles in one unit cell. If it is confusing, I'll refer it as z every time. Okay, fine. So number of particles in x gram. That means if I know this value divided by n. Now what is n? In case of simple cube it is 1. In case of BCC structure it is 2. In case of FCC structure it is 4. Okay, so hopefully till here it is understood. Now our direct formula is x upon A cube into density. X upon A cube into density. Fourth formula, number of unit cell in volume V of metal. Simple. X mass upon volume is, okay, so mass upon A cube is density. Okay, so and mass, this is nothing but the density. So mass upon density is nothing but referred to as the volume. Mass upon density is nothing but referred to as the volume. So we replace it by V. So V upon A cube. You can just learn the formula by heart. Okay, next, this is also very important formula. If the number of spheres, that means if I am making a cube, if I say the number of particles which I have taken to form a cube is 100, okay, that means then if it is 100, the number of tetrahedral void which is created will be nothing but what? 2 into n. 2 into n means if it is 100, this will be 200. Okay, and octahedral void will be same as the number of spheres. That means it will be 100 only. Okay, now next, this is also very important. Simple cube, the relation between edge length and radius. In case of simple cube, the relation between A and R is nothing but A equal to 2R. In case of BCC structure, it is A equal to 4 upon root 3R. In case of FCC structure, it is A equal to 2 root 2R. Okay, now simple cube, what is the percentage of packing efficiency? It is nothing but 52.37%. And in case of BCC, it is 68%. In case of FCC, it is 74%. See, if in the problem it is said if it is FCC structure and they are asking us to find out the packing efficiency, please keep in mind that it should come near to 74% because it is an FCC structure. Okay, So please understand that. Packing efficiency, the last formula, volume occupied by particle in unit cell upon total volume of unit cell into 100. Since it is percentage packing efficiency, we have to find out, then it will be multiplied by 100. Direct formula for this thing is nothing but n nothing but referred to as z, that is number of particles in one unit cell, into volume of sphere, that is 4 upon 3 pi r cube upon a cube, that is nothing but the volume, total volume of unit cell, into 100. You can just by heart all these formulas. Okay, so very important. So now we'll just start solving the sums based on all these things. Okay, so first one, we'll just keep these formulas for our reference, but you have to by heart all the formulas, please understand. Okay, so the first one, a compound made of elements C and D. Okay, a compound made of elements C and D crystallizes in FCC structure. So what is the hint given? This is an FCC structure. Okay, so FCC structure is given. Okay, now atoms of C are present at the corners of the cube. C atom present at corners. Okay, now atoms of D at the center of faces. D atom at center of faces of the cube, we can write down, and they are asking us to predict the formula. So only what is given here, FCC structure is given, C atom at the corners, D atom at the center of the faces. Now to understand this, what is very important, you can for your reference just draw a FCC structure over here for your reference. Okay, now if this is my FCC structure, okay, C atoms at each of the corners, that means we have learned that each of the corners, if there are C atoms, these are nothing but what, C atoms, then the contribution of C in one unit cell will be nothing but 8 corners are there into 1 by 8 parts, so it is 1. So you can say number of particles of C atom in one unit cell equal to nothing but 1. Okay, similarly number of particles of D atom in one unit cell will be equal to what? Now in each of the faces, right, center of the faces it is present, D atom at the center of the faces. Okay, now that means there will be total, this is up, this is left side, right side, this is in the front. Okay, this is up, so back side one is remaining, and down there is one more solid. Okay, now one more D atom, this is nothing but our D atom. To total how many D atoms are there? 6 D atoms are there. Contribution will be half, so 1 upon 2, that is nothing but 3. That means what the formula will be nothing but what, C is 1 and D is 3. So the formula is CD3 is the formula of the crystal. Hopefully this is very simple. C at the corners, that means contribution is 1. D at the faces, that means they are having how many faces, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 down, so total 6 faces into contribution in each of the faces half, therefore it is 3. So the formula is nothing but C1D3, that is CD3. Okay, so this thing is understood. Next one, a compound is formed by two elements Now in this case the compound is formed by two elements A and B. Okay, the atoms of element B forms CCP structure. CCP and FCC are one and the same. Okay, so the atoms of B form CCP structure. The atoms of A occupies, this is very important, the atoms of A occupy 1/3 of tetrahedral voids. What is the formula of the compound? What is the formula of the compound? Now only one hint is given, it is a CCP structure, and second is that this is nothing but A is occupying tetrahedral voids. Now if I just want to understand, there are two elements A and B. There are two elements A and B. Okay, now A is occupying 1/3. A is occupying 1/3 of tetrahedral void. Okay, and B, the atoms of element B forms what? CCP structure. The atoms of element form CCP structure. So I can say that let the number of spheres occupying CCP structure is equal to B, because B is forming the CCP structure. Okay, that means if I am saying this is my crystal, all the corners and the faces is occupied by atom B. Okay, so number of spheres occupying CCP structure is B over here. Now A is nothing but 1/3 of tetrahedral void. Now to understand, if I am saying the number of spheres is equal to B, if the number of spheres, this formula, if the number of spheres is equal to n, then tetrahedral void is 2n and octahedral void is n. Now here there is no reference of octahedral void, we just have to understand tetrahedral void. So therefore I can say number of tetrahedral void is equal to 2b. Number of spheres is equal to b, then the number of tetrahedral void is equal to 2b. Therefore I can say number of atoms of A is equal to 1/3 of tetrahedral void, that is equal to 1/3 into 2b. So I can write it as 2 upon 3b. So now it is very simple. I know the ratio, so I'll just write down ratio of elements A and B is equal to A ratio B. Okay, A ratio B. Now what is A equal to? Number of atoms of A is equal to 2 upon 3b. So I can write it as 2 upon 3b ratio. Number of spheres occupying CCP structure, that is referred to as B only. Okay, so B is, we are not changing it. Okay, so therefore I can say that B and B gets cancelled over here. So it is nothing but 2 ratio 3. Okay, so I can say that the formula is A2B3. The formula is A2B3. What is the formula? A2B3. Simple. Okay, hopefully till here it is understood. Now the next one, third problem. Now niobium forms BCC structure. Okay, so this one by one we'll just write down. Niobium forms which structure? BCC structure. The density of niobium is 8.55 gram per centimeter cube, and length of unit cell edge is 330.6 pm. How many atoms and unit cell are present in 0.5 gram of niobium? Okay, that means we don't have to understand, write down this formula over here. Okay, so that is understood. Now number of atoms and number of unit cell means what? We are referring as this one, number of particles in x gram. It is x gram is written. Gram mole inverse, if it is given, then that is nothing but referred to as molar mass. Here they have only given the mass of niobium. Okay, so we have to understand number of particles, that is nothing but atoms over here. Particles means it can be atoms, molecules, ions, anything. Okay, so if it is number of atoms, as atoms are nothing but particles, so number of particles, these two formulas we have to take. Okay, so we'll just write down the given first. What is given? Niobium forms which structure? BCC structure. Niobium forms BCC structure. Now density. So I'll just refer density is rho is equal to 8.55 gram per centimeter cube. Okay, length of unit cell edge. That means edge length is nothing but referred as A. You have to write down edge length in bracket, you have to write down A. Density in bracket you will write down rho. Okay, so A is equal to 330.6 pm. Now 330.6 pm. Now here in density it is given in CGS unit, so we have to convert it into CGS unit. So CGS unit, it is nothing but 330.6 into 10 raised to minus 10 centimeter. pm conversion is in meter, it will be into 10 raised to minus 12, and in centimeter it is nothing but 10 raised to minus 10 centimeter. Now I can just bring the point if I want. Okay, so it will be nothing but in your textbook it is given as 3.306 into, since it is going in left, into 10 raised to 2. Left is positive, so into 10 raised to 2, that will be nothing but what? 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter. 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter. So till here the conversion is understood. Okay, next I have to understand number asked is to find here. Okay, number of particles in 0.5 gram of niobium and number of unit cell in 0.5 gram of 5 gram of niobium. Okay, these are the two things which are asked. Okay, we know the formula now. Simple. These are the two formulas we have to use, this one and this one. Okay, so if you want, you can just write down formula used or directly use the formula. Formula used over here is number of particles in x gram. Okay, x gram, that is equal to what? X into n upon a cube into density instead of Na. Okay, and the second formula is nothing but number of unit cell in x gram is nothing but what? We will divide by n, so x upon a cube into density. Now directly the solutions over here. Solution. Okay, we just have to put the value and write down the answer. So for the first one, number of particles. Next time onwards I am not going to do step by thing. I will just tell you the formula and you will just apply and find out the answer. This is the way you write down. You have to write down given, find, formula, and afterwards the solution. Okay, now number of particles in 0.5 gram equal to of niobium. Okay, you will say x into n upon a cube into density. Okay, now what is x over here? X is nothing but 0.5. X is nothing but 0.5. Now since it is a BCC structure, n is nothing but equal to 2 upon what is A? A is nothing but edge length, so it is nothing but 3.306 into 10 raised to minus 8 the whole cube into what is the density over here? Density is nothing but 8.55. Okay, fine. Any problem over here? Now you will directly apply the formula, you will just solve, and the value will be nothing but equal to, we'll get a value as 0.003236 into 10 raised to something like 8 plus 8 3s are 24 into 24 something you will get. Okay, so now after making into this one 1 2 and 3, the value will be nothing but what, 3.24 into 10 raised to 21 over here. Please solve and get this value. Okay, now what will be the unit for this? This is number of particles, so these are nothing but so many particles. Okay, simple. Now next, number of unit cell in x gram. It is very simple. What is the formula? It is nothing but x upon a cube into density, or else I'll write down what is this thing, 3.24 into 10 raised to 21 divided by n. What is n? Number of particles are nothing but what, 2 in this case, so divided by 2, and you will get the value something related to 1.62 into 10 raised to 21. You just have to solve this thing. 2 1s are 2, 1 carry, 2 6 are 12, 2 2s are 4 over here. So it is nothing but 1.62 into 10 raised to 21, or else you can put the value again and solve, and you will get the same value in this case. Okay, so these are the number of units in x gram. X gram is something but 0.5 gram. Okay, so hopefully till here it is understood. Now the next problem. Now a compound forms HCP structure. A compound forms HCP structure. Okay, what is the number of octahedral voids, tetrahedral voids, and total voids formed in 0.4 mole of it? Now in this case, what all things are asked? Octahedral voids, tetrahedral voids, and total voids. Okay, and the given is only 0.4 mole of it. Now whenever it is octahedral voids and tetrahedral voids are asked, only one formula is it. Number of spheres is equal to n, then octahedral voids will be n, and number of tetrahedral voids will be 2n. So first I have to find out the number of spheres. Okay, so what is given is 0.4 mole is given. 0.4 mole is given. So I'll just find out number of atoms in 0.4 mole. That is number nothing but what, 0.4 into Na. That is nothing but 0.4 into what is Na. What is the value of Na? Avogadro's number 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So after solving this thing, you will get a value something related to 2.4098 into 10 raised to 23. Now once we know the number of atoms, or the number of spheres we know, we can say number of octahedral void. Number of octahedral voids A is equal to number of atoms. That is equal to nothing but 2.4098 into 10 raised to 23. Simple. That is equal to n. Now what is B? Number of tetrahedral voids. Number of tetrahedral voids. That is equal to what? 2n. So 2 multiplied by number of atoms. So that is nothing but 2 multiplied by 2.4098 into 10 raised to 23. So that will be nothing but 982s. Okay, so like that you can just solve, and you will get a value approximately equal to 4.818 into 10 raised to 23. Just solve, you will get the right value. Now next one, last one, C, total number of voids. Total number of voids, that is nothing but number of octahedral void plus number of tetrahedral void. These are the only two voids which is created in a crystal. Please understand, only these two voids are created in a crystal. As a result, See, it is a HCP structure. Okay, hexagonal close packed structure. It is similar to what FCC and CCP structure. So there will be only two kinds of voids created, octahedral void and tetrahedral void. As a result, the total number of voids will be nothing but the number of octahedral void plus the number of tetrahedral void. So the answer will be nothing but 2.4098 into 10 raised to 23 plus 4.818 into 10 raised to 23. So it will approximately come to 7227 into 10 raised to 23. Please solve and just find out the value. Whatever the value you will be getting will be right. Okay, fine. So hopefully till here it is understood. The last one. The unit cell of metallic silver is FCC. The unit cell of last sum, type of sum, the unit cell of metallic silver is FCC. Okay. So this is the FCC structure. So I'll just write down FCC structure. Okay. Now, and if radius of Ag atom is 144.4 pm is given, radius is given as what? 144.4 pm. Okay. What is asked? Edge length of unit cell is asked. What is asked? A is equal to question mark. That is the first one. What next is what? Volume of Ag atom. Volume of Ag atom means what? We have to calculate 4 upon the formula of Ag atom. We have learnt in packing efficiency. If Ag atom is A, that is nothing but we can refer it as sphere. So that means it is ours is nothing but 4 upon 3 pi r cube formula we have to use over here. Okay. And C, the percentage of the volume of unit cell. And last one, the percentage of empty space. You can write down whatever is asked. Now we'll just start with the solution part. FCC structure, that means N is nothing but equal to 4 in this case. Okay. R is equal to what? 144.4. Now in this case again I have to convert pm into what? Centimeter. So now you know the conversion. 144.4 into 10 raised to minus 10 centimeter, or it can be 1.444 into 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter. Any one you can use over here. Okay. Now first one is A is asked. Now in case of FCC structure, what is the value over there? A is equal to nothing but 2 root 2 r. A is nothing but 2 root 2 r. So formula is nothing but over here is A is equal to 2 root 2 r. That is nothing but 2 multiplied by 1.414 into what is r? R is nothing but 1.444 into 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter. After solving this, you will get a value as 408.36 into 10 raised to minus 10 centimeter. So this is nothing but 4.084 into 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter. Hopefully you know the conversion. Going to what? Left, that means positive, that means 2 places gone, so it is into 10 raised to 2. So minus 10 plus 2 is nothing but minus 8. Okay. So till here it is understood. Now the next one, edge length is done. Second is volume of Ag atom is asked. What is asked? Volume of Ag atom. So volume of Ag atom is nothing but 4 upon 3 pi r cube. That is nothing but what? 4 upon 3 pi r cube. So you have to just substitute these values. So 4 upon 3 into pi is 3.142 into what is r? R is over here. So it is nothing but 1.444 into 10 raised to minus 8. After solving this, you will get a value as 1.261 into 10 raised to minus 23 centimeter cube. I am giving you the answer only so that you will solve and afterwards check the answer over here. Okay, now next is C in FCC unit cell. In FCC again, the percentage of the volume of unit cell that is occupied by Ag atom, that means percentage of volume of unit cell that is occupied by Ag atom, that means packing efficiency is asked. So I can just write down packing efficiency is equal to, I know the formula, volume, this one, volume occupied by particle in unit cell, volume occupied by particle in unit cell upon total volume of unit cell into 100. Now what is volume occupied by one atom? It is this thing. Okay, so that is nothing but what? N into 4 upon 3 pi r cube upon a cube into 100. This is nothing but a formula. Okay, so you can solve it differently and substitute the value. You can find this value, we'll get it from here. This value we'll get it from here. And we know it is nothing but 4. Okay, and what is a cube? You can, nothing but a is given, so cube of that thing. Now to take the cube, okay, if you want to take a cube of something, I'll just let you know about here. Okay, if you want to take a cube, like for example a cube, you have to find out. So 4.084 into 10 raised to minus 8 the whole cube. If you apply log over here, it is nothing but what? 3 log whatever the value you have to write down over here. Okay, so it will be simple for you to solve. Okay, now so after solving, that is after putting all this value, this is 4 multiplied by 4, here I'll write down the value directly as 1.261 into 10 raised to minus 23 upon a cube. I can write it as what is a, this one. So 4.084 into 10 raised to minus 8 the whole cube. You can directly solve this by using log. Instead of finding it separately, a cube separately, everything separately, you can directly find out this value if you want. Okay, so this thing, and afterwards the value will be nothing but equal to 74 into 100 in each case, nothing but equal to 74%. Now once this thing is asked, D is very simple, the percentage of empty space. So percent of empty space will be nothing but 100 minus 74%. So that is nothing but 100 minus 74 is nothing but 26% is nothing but the void space over here in this case. Okay, so hopefully till here it is understood. This is very simple, similar to the packing efficiency. If you have learnt packing efficiency in SC, BCC and FCC, this problem is similar to that thing. Okay, so simple. Here only they have given a metallic silver, but rest everything is same. We are finding the number of particles, the value of A and R, then volume of Ag, packing efficiency, and last the void volume over here. So hopefully everything is completed in this chapter. So next time we will start with a new chapter. Okay then, thank you.